LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Happy February, everyone. Happy birthday to my buddy Dave Schmalzer on his way out here to Arizona. This sounds like the most perfect place in the country. If you're looking at the weather map for the US of A, what a bunch of crap they got going on the East Coast. Hello, from sunny, warm, going to be 83 here today, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Todd Bailing, joined by my three cheesehead, freeze-ass hosts back in beautiful Wisconsin, starting with Brian Schmidt over in Utzberg, Wisconsin, where he plows roads and deals with crap for a living in Sheboygan. Hi.
Yeah, but it hasn't snowed here in well over a week, so I guess we can't complain about that because I hate snow, but I also hate the cold. But seeing the videos of these guys using jet dryers to move snow gives me some great ideas. I would love to take that down some of the streets of Sheboygan. I'd get the people that are screaming at me and waving their shovel at me, blow them right back into their yard. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Just what a great dream that is. That female voice you heard there laughing, that's our own PJ Noodleman out on the left coast of Wisconsin. Hi.
Yes, we got some snow right now and 20 degrees in Trempealeau.
It's snowing over there?
Yeah, we're getting snow. It's a light snow, the kind that could be blown by one of those air titans.
Jet dryers. And our own Dan Margetta back in the Milwaukee area over in St. Francis. It's balmy there, right?
Oh, yeah, about normal for this time of year. No snow, but cold, and someone's got to tell that groundhog tomorrow to figure it out and figure out how we get out of this in less time, and maybe they can go race. Just see on the line, they're calling it Snowman Gray. They're going to race there tomorrow, try to...
Unbelievable. The actual green flag or the broadcast of the race itself is at 5 o'clock Central Time on your local Fox affiliate, 6 in Milwaukee. They are going to start practicing at 10 o'clock in the morning, assuming, I'm remembering back when I had to deal with snow. Roads like this, if you plow them and it's sunny all day, it'll dry up pretty nicely and we won't have a problem actually getting from point A to point B. The problem here, the way I see it, and not being very well versed on tire wear, isn't that cold racetrack going to be just a son of a bitch to try and race on? It's going to be like bricks, isn't it? And it's not going to take rubber at all, will it? My knowing friends here?
Should make it really interesting, I would think.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the roads getting to the racetrack. And it sounds like that's kind of what's on the air right now as far as running tomorrow. The North Carolina Department of Transportation is not advising anybody to go out right now until they get this stuff cleaned up. And can they get it cleaned up in time to get people there? Will we run this race without fans? That could be an option too. I mean, there's still a lot going on before we actually get this thing going.
Kind of makes you wonder why they didn't just pull the pin earlier, because this is a lot of jicky-jacking around.
Best part is, though, they're at Bowman Gray, which all these guys can stay at home. So, it's not like you're in another location where you got to deal with hotels and all that kind of stuff. I mean, these guys can get in their car when it's decent. And you got to remember, North Carolina does not set up like we are here. They don't have a shed full of trucks and piles of salt like we have here. So for them to clean this up, it's going to take them a lot longer because they got to use loaders and front-end loaders.
Snowing. Yeah,
they don't have that kind of equipment like we have here, so it takes them a lot longer. But when they do finally decide to race, and say it's not tomorrow, say it's Wednesday, the guys get in their vehicles and leave Charlotte. And how far is it, Dan, from Charlotte to Winston-Salem? You've taken the run already, right?
Probably about an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I used to leave the Busch race back in the day at Charlotte on 600 weekend. On Saturday, that race would end. I'd get in my car and I'd drive up to Bowman Gray to go watch the weekly show there, and I'd make it in time.
So that's probably why we're hanging on here, because it's in the backyard of all these teams. So when the weather does get nice, I don't know if whatever you use for nice, 40 degrees, they can just go up there and we can run the race, and then they can take their stuff back to Charlotte and pack up and go to Daytona the following week.
But still, a bit of a pisser, if you will, for the fans that had planned to go. But As our rogue reporter Aaron Baird has shared, fans with tickets who don't go to the race on Monday or whenever they do run it will get a 120% credit for tickets to any race at a NASCAR-owned track except Daytona or Homestead. And they'll get a 100% refund if they would rather just do that. But they have to fill out a form within 14 days.
At least that's decent. I'll give them credit for that. That's a decent way to do it.
Does that work at any race of the year? I mean, could you go to like the 600?
I think NASCAR own track, so not an SMI. Yeah. So, I mean, Rockingham would be the next closest one, but I don't know, does NASCAR own Rockingham or not? That thing's moved around in ownership. Or IHRA by then. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, Martinsville ain't far for that,
Right. The internet is buzzing naturally, as it usually does with any controversial subject. And, it pretty much it's why are we racing in North Carolina in February? Is it really that important that we're not at Daytona, where we ran this race for years without a problem?
Well, we had problems at Daytona, though. We crashed the field every year. They destroyed cars like crazy. That's how we got out of there.
Yep, I went to this clash multiple times back in, I don't know, between like 2010 and 2015 and 16. And yeah, it was a mess. And then the fans weren't showing up either. People weren't coming to this race anymore. And there's all kinds of people, we should just do that. No, people weren't going to it. And that's why they got rid of it. And the people that were sponsoring the event weren't getting, the bang for their buck. So that's why they changed it up.
Yeah, but, a shitty crowd at Daytona is a hell of a lot more than a really, really good crowd at Bowman Gray. So
yeah, I don't know what the numbers were.
I mean, I'd like being there. I really like the idea of running at Bowman Gray. I like the short track feel to it kind of thing. And it's just the you take a chance running in February. You got to play with the NFL. You're not going to run it on Super Bowl weekend, so you're going to get that. Now, next year you'll get a week later, right? Because the NFL's going back.
Yeah.
Maybe do we look at other places, other short tracks, maybe in Florida, maybe.
Well, Brian had the idea last week. It was perfect when you think about it.
Yeah, New Smyrna. But you'd have to add a lot of seats to make it worth your while. But
or the Freedom Factory, maybe. I mean, could they do something there and run the All-Star race at Bowman Gray or something like that? I mean, it's been suggested.
They do love Cletus.
Yeah,
yeah, he brings a lot of eyes.
I mean, and think about does NASCAR really need to have two exhibition races? You got the All-Star race in the middle of the season, which this year is going to be at Dover, which I think is going to be kind of blah. You're not going to get the crowd. Dan, you suggested having the All-Star race at Bowman Gray. That sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer when the weather's nice and you can run all your stuff. It's sunny until 9:00 at night. I mean, that'd be a perfect idea.
And if New Smyrna is actually for sale, I'm not sure that it is, but even though we hear that Amazon is looking at purchasing it to build a warehouse, the race track itself would be absolutely perfect for this. If adding seats is the biggest issue, that's not a big deal, I don't think.
Well, there's not a lot of parking there either. So if you are gonna have a large crowd, you got to have a place to put everybody, and you got 4-lane highways on both sides of it. So that's all logistical stuff that they got to think of if you're going to do something like that at New Smyrna.
Interesting, but it's certainly should. Something like that might be a better idea than racing this far north this early in the year, and I think that's probably what we're going to come up with. Now, you say to yourself, I wonder what it's like to be in a position where NASCAR keeps changing the schedule and changing the rules, not so much rules, but the format. That's what I really meant. Changing the format for this thing. There was supposed to be a modified and a sportsman race included in all this. That's been canceled. It's been pushed back. First of all, it was going to be practice and qualifying on Saturday. That got pushed all to today until they woke up to more snow and they got to plow the track. Is that plowed yet? I don't even know if it is.
The jet dryers we're currently working on it. Flo posted a video about an hour ago.
Okay. Well, it's all, what's it like for the competitors, you say? Well, we're going to find out what it's like for the teams to do that, because after this break, we're going to talk to an old friend of ours who just happens to be the championship winning car chief. And he's standing by to talk to us after we come back. Hang in there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
EMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Our old friend, former Wisconsin racer, and currently the car chief for Kyle Larson, Jesse Saunders of Verona, Wisconsin.
Championship car chief this year, Todd.
Championship car chief, not just a car chief, for his second.
New Glarus, Wisconsin, Todd, but it's okay.
Oh.
Home of the spotted cow.
I thought they were just the same place. You know what? I know?
A couple minutes away. It's fine.
All right, close enough?
Yeah.
I work for the post office, and as we used to say, that's good enough.
Oh, boy.
Hey, great. Thanks for joining us. You're not exactly on your way to the track today like you had thought you possibly would have been, right?
Yeah, no, a little bit of a snow day here today.
So what do they do? I mean, you can't run antifreeze. What are you guys doing for like the radiator or the fluid just to help keep things cool in the car but not freeze?
Yeah, so NASCAR is actually pretty good about it. We just run water, but NASCAR is pretty good. They have a good relationship with all the engine builders, not just Hendrick, but ECR and Roush, and they basically get their opinions. What do you guys need? What do we need to do and stuff, and we have water heaters that we can plug right in. You see a lot of sprint car teams have stuff like that. We have the same thing. So basically, once we get the car unloaded, I'm sure we'll plug right in and get that stuff pumping. So we'll get heat into the cars pretty quick. And right now they're sitting indoors at that event center that they had that preview at. So they've got a lot of warmth in them right now. And then the haulers are heated, so they won't see the cold too much before we get temperature in them.
What are they doing with the tires? I mean, that's the other big thing. The tires, are they sitting inside or are they sitting outside? Because tires don't like sub-freezing weather.
No, they don't. They are sitting in a trailer right now. I don't know if it's heated or not. I actually kind of think it is based on the way Goodyear was talking. But that was actually a plan way before the snow even came, was how we were going to store the tires or what NASCAR wanted with that and Goodyear and everybody. So I imagine they're dry and warm right now.
So looking in your crystal ball, when you guys roll out for practice tomorrow at 11 o'clock, how do you think these cars are going to react with those tires to a frozen ground?
I don't know. I've been trying to kind of get some pictures to understand even what it looks like, because right now I don't know how we're even going to probably get to the track at the moment. But if we get up there and get rolling, I think it's like anything. Take the Dells when you guys race in whatever it is, April, March. That's usually pretty cold. All the same stuff applies. It'll just be a lot of, extra pace laps and stuff like that. Just get some heat in the car and the brakes. And I think once we get the temperature in it and the way the schedule kind of is, I think you'll kind of keep heat in it, because it'll kind of just, they'll keep it going. I think if there's any issues or something, and we have a longer break, it'll just require more pace laps and stuff to get heat going before we get going, per se.
You know, you mentioned getting to the track might be an issue now too because of all the snow down in the Charlotte area. You guys are all going to drive up there, right? And if that's the case, what time do you have to leave to get there on time for them to go off? So what time does the road have to be kind of clear and passable?
Yeah, most of us are all coming from the Charlotte area, so it's about 40 minutes away. And I think we got a couple different groups coming, but the first group that I got to go up with is 5 a.m. I got to meet at an exit here on 85 and go north. So, yeah, a lot of work for the road crews today to get everything cleared out and safe, and then we'll have a couple hundred service industry guys headed that way tomorrow.
Then when it's all done, are you driving right back home, or are you staying overnight there?
No, we'll come home because Daytona's coming quick.
Yeah, speaking of Daytona and long days, this thing for tomorrow, you got to be ready at 5 o'clock. Race time is 6 o'clock Eastern time. And by the way, the forecast right now is 33 degrees at race time, falling into the upper 20s during the race. Have we ever had these kind of conditions for a race before?
I don't think so. I think there was a Martinsville fall race, I think it was, maybe 4 or 5, maybe it could have been a little bit longer than that I remember we were mid to high 30s maybe. We did have that one spring Martinsville race that actually got snowed out, but it had warmed up the next day. So this is definitely unique in the amount of snow we have, and honestly, like, it's kind of supposed to be warmer today and warm up. I think it's supposed to be like 50 by the end of the week. So by the end of the week, we're going to have a lot of water that we got to figure out where it's got to go. So
yeah, by then you'll be headed for Daytona, where, speaking of long days, Wednesday, Brian, what are the exact hours they got to be there?
I saw the schedule for Wednesday, and you guys practice at like 10 in the morning, and then you don't qualify till like 8 at night. I mean, are you going to have to be there all day?
Yeah. No, the first days, speed weeks has become a very long day. I think, the garage opens at 6, but you can't have a 38 race weekend schedule. You can't be wore out for it if you don't start on the first day. So wide open, I guess.
God.
Wow. I was going to say otherwise we could meet you for lunch sometime during that break, but I don't know if we're going to let you leave even for a little while.
If you walk by with a burger, I'll stop. I promise.
That's the way it works.
And looking at this year on that 5 car, there's not a lot of changes, is there? I mean, most of the guys are back. I think you may have like one new guy maybe, and that's it. So kind of the championship crew is in place, and going forward now to 26, are you looking forward to defending?
Yeah. No, we the mechanic side's pretty solid. We did have one change there. We actually, though, we have all 3 new engineers, which I think is actually it's been kind of nice. We've been very fortunate over the past couple of years. We've had engineers kind of come and go, and they move on to some bigger and better things. Like Adam Wall is now the crew chief of the Xfinity program, or O'Reilly, whatever it is now, with Corey Day. So, I think that's part of the team that we have, is trying to build people to move on and do better things within the company, hopefully, and grow it. So we have some new engineers, but it's been kind of fun. And, as our career has kind of grown and I don't know, grown in years, I guess, the excitement, the youth, the energy that they bring is actually kind of nice, because it's easy, the long days, as we're talking, it's easy to get wore out, but those guys come in, they're excited, helps you kind of revisit your process of why you do things the way you do them, and helps refine it. And I think it almost improves the team. So I think repeating this year is, we can go out and we can compete. Being consistent is obviously going to be a tick more important, but I don't think it's going to be too different than, last year we scored the most points too, and there's a bunch of races that we could argue we gave away. So yeah, I'm excited. I think this plays right into us, and people are probably kind of overlooking us because I think we are maybe flashy in wins, but not always inconsistent.
And as far as the 500, I mean, the progression's been there. You used to have a problem. The team had a problem finishing the races, always ran good. You finished last couple of years, you've gotten closer every year. So That's the one thing that's kind of missing right now, right? The 500 ring. So maybe you can get that.
Yeah, it would be awesome. But just the speedway stuff in general is, yeah, like you said, it's been really good. And yeah, the first year I don't think we finished a race. Maybe we finished one. It's been hit or miss, but it's like slowly progressed to where last year, yeah, we finished I think every single one, and people were probably laughing, but like we have to measure that form of racing for us. It's still an unknown, right? Nobody's got it really figured out, but that means we're bringing fast cars and things are kind of going our way. And if we can keep doing that and turn some of those top fives into a win at Daytona or anywhere, it'd be great.
No kidding. Jesse, it has to just be the greatest feeling in the world going to the racetrack knowing that Kyle Larson is going to drive your car.
It is. Very, very cool guy. Love working for him, and yeah, I'm glad I don't have to compete against him.
There you go. All right, this is Jesse Saunders. He's the championship car chief for Kyle Larson's number 5 car. He's from New Glarus, Wisconsin, but these days lives in North Carolina where it never snows. So I best of luck tomorrow night, my friend, and we'll be watching.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Well, we've been talking about pretty much the cars so far. How are the cars going to be on a cold racetrack and all that sort of thing? There are other things to think about, however, and that would have to, revolve around safety concerns at this point. Now, Brian, you've been a volunteer firefighter for more than half of your getting to be pretty long life. And what's it like grabbing a fire extinguisher when it's 30 degrees? Does it change anything?
Well, I mean, it depends what you got going on. I mean, they have water extinguishers down there, which are just a tank with pressurized air. Now, those, I mean, if they're going to sit outside all day and it's going to be below freezing, that could be a problem. Our fire trucks up here are designed with heaters on them and pump heaters, so you're not going to get the freezing. Although, a couple weeks ago when I was at that barn fire and it was 5 degrees outside, we had a lot of valves freezing and a lot of problems with that. So, I don't know how well versed these guys are down there because they don't deal with this all the time. Specifically, the NASCAR teams. I'm sure the Charlotte Fire Department and Winston-Salem, those guys probably are, but I don't know that the NASCAR guys have dealt with this a lot, but I'm sure they're working on it. And calling around to people that deal with the cold weather so they're ready. I mean, the best part is the safety workers, they aren't going to be sweating a lot in that thick uniform. This will probably be great for them. They're going to like being bundled up for once.
And now, are there any other concerns that you really have to worry about at this point?
I don't think so, really. No, I mean, the rest of it should be, should be all right. I would, like the dry chemical extinguishers, those work in the cold temperatures because you're not dealing with any water. It's the water that's the hardest part, especially if it's going to stay below freezing all day, and you're not going to be in an area where the sun shines. I mean, where the sun shines down there because the sun is so strong, that's going to melt off a lot of stuff, and it'll raise, your temperature. Even up here, when it was below zero, the last week, if you saw, some snow on an area that was like really dark color underneath, you would literally see some melting out, because the sun is so strong this time of year, especially down there. So I think that'll help a lot. But I mean, I'm more interested in knowing how that facility is going to function in this kind of cold weather, like the bathrooms and all that type of stuff. Because a lot of those facilities, like, Camp Randall Stadium, for instance, up here, they winterize it every year. Miller Park, they do that. So that's not designed to be used in this type of temperature. I mean, did they do that at Bowman Gray? And how is that going to work for the fans that come there tomorrow?
Yeah, little things like that. Well, we mentioned a couple different Florida tracks they could possibly race this in, but there are other locations that might really fit into. I mean, you don't have to necessarily race in Florida this time of year. Aren't there some tracks like in Georgia where it would normally be a really respectable weather at this point? Yeah, I'm thinking
not this year.
No.
No, that's true, isn't it?
California would be about the only thing. I mean, if you saw Kevin Harvick dropped a tweet during one of NASCAR's pictures of snow at Bowman Gray saying, it's pretty nice at Bakersfield today, at his track, Kern County. But that there too, then you're adding the whole travel thing into it, which is a lot of the bad part about going to the Coliseum years ago is now you're making these teams trek all the way across the country for nothing more than an exhibition race. So I don't know if that's the greatest idea either.
Oh man, and it's so much that goes into it. I'm doing a quick check of the weather in Bakersfield, California right now, and I have a funny feeling that they've had some issues out there. Yeah, right. Well, it's not terrible. 45. Their high is 66. Oh, that's right. They're dealing with fog in the Central Valley of California today. So there's so much that goes into a decision like that. They like this because the guys are close by and they can actually go from home to the track tomorrow in 40 minutes. I mean, think about that. That's a pretty cool thing. So what else is happening in the world of NASCAR? Well, as we are now 2 weeks to the Daytona 500, and of course next week's show we will give you a little update of what days you better be close to the TV and all that sort of thing. There are hey, speaking of TV, we've been watching the Dodge show. What the hell is it called? Race for the Seat. Grant Griesbach, I've made it through 3 episodes so far. Grant isn't doing the greatest, but of course it isn't over yet. We do know he doesn't win. If you haven't seen that, well, we won't ruin it for you if you haven't heard. But 15 drivers, only one's going to come away with a ride. But that has been a pretty interesting program so far. I think everybody is just a little too dramatic. They're acting, we're actors. We're not really doing this. Yeah,
Chris Rice is really an actor. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a bit over the top.
It sounds like watching an NBC race, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Dan.
Everybody with the prepubescent girls. Yeah, they do sound that way a little bit.
The best place to watch it is on YouTube because then you get the uncut version. So, you get to hear Chris Rice, fire off an F-bomb and some of these other guys fire off F-bomb. That gives it a little bit more pizzazz, I think.
Yeah, a little more realistic, like you were actually there, Hey, well, Dan, this is probably best to discuss when we come back, but Tim Kuniskis, who we didn't really know that well, we see him a little bit as the head of Dodge's racing program, and he's like a fourth wheel a little bit in that show. He has said in an interview that it is the goal of Dodge to have a car in next year's Daytona 500. Are you kidding me? Is that kind of a short period of time to go from a all-spec Ilmore engine truck into the Cup Series in 1 year? Is it possible? Well, he says you have to have a goal. Well, that makes sense. My question, Dan, and we'll talk about this after the break, but NASCAR has been holding 4 charters, and now that we know how much money they're worth, where are they going to come from? Who's going to pay for them? Who's going to get the money from it? And are we going to have a 40-car field instead of 36? We'll talk about all those things when we come back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
EMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
So what did we determine that charters are worth through the trial that was in December? Do we have a hard number on that? Anyone?
I think it's going to depend on what the market is for, right? I mean, one went for $40 million and the last ones went for a little less, right? Depending on, it's all on supply and demand. So, I mean, if a lot of people want them, they're probably worth a lot more.
So NASCAR, when they came up with the program, issued 36 charters. They just issued them. They didn't sell them, correct?
Right, correct. Yeah, no original charter members bought their charters.
And since then, like PJ so adeptly put it, NASCAR wants a piece of that. You can guarantee it. And when they see what they're going for, are they going to come up right now and just award free of charge 4 more charters
Todd,
at Dodge?
If you think Dodge is coming into the NASCAR arena and not putting some money up into their pockets, you don't get the game. You don't get to play without paying.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're already paying something that's going to help the coffers at NASCAR.
You get that.
And you mentioned about being only a year away to get a car in the 500. This has probably been in the works for a couple of years now. I mean,
exactly.
Behind the scenes a lot. Now they're going to start with the trucks and they can move it in there. I think this whole Cup thing has probably been on the radar for about probably 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. They've been developing something.
The same group obviously is going to have to be the one that's going to step up. And I can't imagine awarding one team 4 charters at once. I mean...
Well, if they're needed. I mean, if say they come up next year with Colleague, they have 2 right now, right? So you have 2 already. You know, they only need 2 more for a 4-car team, or is there somebody else going to switch to a Dodge and have that thing? Then a new team coming in might get the new charters because if they go with the new manufacturer. But then what happens with Colleague that's been around for a while with their 2 they got?
I don't see NASCAR blowing their wad with 1 team and 4 charters. They're going to spread that wealth around so they've got a few options. They don't like to put all their eggs in one basket.
And I did not, think about that, but Colleague already has 2 charters. So, are they going to, since they're bringing in a new manufacturer, is that enough reason to just award them 2 more charters. Oh, hey, for all we know, Colleague is going to have a hard time putting 2 Dodges on the track. At this point, I would say
we're still a year out.
Be hard.
And that the trucks haven't hit the track yet either. So we'll see how they go this year in the truck series and see how that runs before we start looking beyond that.
Speaking of see how the Dodges do, remember that Dodge busts out their return to the limelight with the truck series coming up a week from Friday. And of course, Tony Stewart has agreed to drive a Dodge truck in their first race, which is going to be a story within a story. This week, Stewart, in an interview without his wife being anywhere near, said he's going to leave the door open for other races during the season. Really? He says, you notice I say this without the wife here because he's afraid of getting a shoe upside the head. He wants to come back in a limited situation, and boy, isn't this a perfect way. My own guess, for me, I don't like the fact that Daytona is where you're going to come back out of semi-retirement.
Well, remember, his reasoning for that was because, he said he's so far behind in driving these trucks because it's been so long since he's actually raced on the pavement in circles that he figured going to a drafting event is the best one for him to go to because that's one of those things that's always going to stick in his head, and he thinks he's going to have a leg up on all these kids that are in there that don't have the drafting experience. So that was his main reason why he wanted to go to Daytona.
That makes sense. And so Atlanta might be on his radar also, but at this point, they're probably going to be spread out, if at all.
Fine, it'd have to be a weekend when the NHRA isn't competing as well.
I know the wife is back. Is he still racing?
Yes, he'll be full-time in the Top Fuel with a different team, I believe, this year.
Really? Not Tony Stewart Motorsports?
Yeah, I forget how it exactly goes together, but yeah, I believe he is running with another team.
Oh, good God. Well, you can hire Tony Stewart to be your driver. Okay. There's a lot to it, that's for sure. And as they're getting ready, Dodge, they're making a splash to start with, just having this TV show, and I think there's a lot of interest in it. By the way, I wonder what the criteria was. Grant told us he got an invitation. No one applied for anything. He got an invitation, and I can't help but think that they went around, took a map of the country and said, okay, we need somebody from this area, from that area. I don't really know this for sure, but boy, it's a pretty wide array of drivers and skill sets in that group, isn't there?
Yeah, and
that's kind of what I think they did too.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Dan.
Each area and said, because they want people to watch the show, and honestly, I think a lot of your people are watching and come from up here. I think racing's such a big deal up here that everybody will watch it. And if you look at some of the streaming companies, a lot of their viewers or subscribers, most of them come from this area here because we're so into the racing deal. So I think they looked around and found who was running the best up here at the time. And Grant was, good at WIR, good at Slinger, and the trucks. He was having a great season, so they asked him.
Yeah, a breakout season for sure. Well, he certainly is getting. Did he ever race a road course before? I don't think so. And he got boogered on the last lap too of his heat. So I thought that was kind of crappy. But it's not easy to do that. But there were guys with that Christopher dude. He wasn't a road racer, was he, Brian?
No, that's Ted Christopher's nephew. If you remember Ted Christopher, the modified guy who was killed in a plane crash. That's his nephew that runs there. So he's a prominent guy in the modified series. There's a couple modified guys there. That last name Beers is another big modified guy, and he's been running decent in that deal. But it's interesting to see. It's the late model stock guys from down there seem to have a little bit of an edge on everybody else.
Luke Fenhouse got himself a ride, supposedly. They're saying full-time in the Norp series, but it's the number 5 Hettinger Ford. We don't know much about it. We asked Luke to be on with us. He said as long as he was available, and he's actually flying right now and unable to join us. We will have him next week to talk about this. Dan, what do we know about this Hettinger team?
Well, they had a truck last year. I mean, I think they're a cars tour team, right?
They are. Chase Burrow was just announced. He's a 21-year-old. He was announced to be running their car for the Cars Tour.
Yeah, because Katie had injured Joel for a while, right?
Right. That's the daughter.
And they had a truck last year. I can't remember who drove it. They were going to run the full season, and that kind of went away. They ran at least one race. I don't know how many after that. So I don't know a whole lot about them. Good choice. They want Luke in their car. I think you can do something with it if they can show up to the track. I think it'd be great.
Guy by the name of Joe Williams Jr. will be the crew chief.
For Luke?
Yes.
Okay. And the team owner, Chris Hettinger, is going to also be running a full-time car in that late model stock division, that ZMAX Cars Tour, with that Chase Burrow, like I said, too. So the owner is also going to be running a car as well as Chase Burrow.
And they're going to get technical support from Ford, and there'll be Roush H engines in the car. So that's some decent equipment.
You can kind of see where the Luke Fenhouse introduction kind of came. I mean, Luke was running those late model stocks down there, and he's got some Ford ties, obviously, from his time that he was running trucks. So it's good that he was able to put something together.
I would guess some of the support would come from Ford because there's not many Fords in that series anymore.
It must be a Ford call because, as we know, Luke Fenhouse does not come from money like a lot of these young up-and-coming supposed racers because Grandpa's got a company. They're farmers, and Luke has earned every ride he's ever had. Probably the best commercial for himself he did was race SRX at Slinger and have Tony Stewart come out and say some wonderful things about him because he finally got to meet him. And
they have a guaranteed spot in the race because they're going to have the owner's points from the 70 Colt family racing team. So they're guaranteed a spot in the race at Daytona. So that's good news for Luke.
It is. So that's kind of good. And in another racing story, Natalie Decker is going to attempt to qualify for the Norp race on Saturday. That's the 300. It's Carl Long's car. What the hell does MBM stand for if it's Carl Long's car? Which is
Motorsports Business Management or something like that, I think.
Okay, that makes some sense. So that'll be something to watch. All right, we're going to come back with some results after this break. We're sure glad you're tuned in here on LTN. We'll be right back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Despite the miserable weather, there was some racing that we got taken care of this week. We'll go back out to Arizona, Casa Grande on Wednesday night as week number 2 of the IMCA.TV Winter Nationals kicked off in the modifieds. Ethan Broxma, thrilling race. If you're able to see some video of that one, I think the IMCA.TV Facebook page has highlights of all the racing from down there. Excellent race. Broxma got the win on that one. In the stock cars, it was Cameron Starry, who seems to be the dominant car down there. Thursday night, they did it again, and Dylan Thornton was your winner of the modifieds, and Cameron Starry once again in the stock cars. Also Thursday, we got things back underway at Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida for the Federated Auto Park Dirt Car Nationals, night number 1 for the ASCS 360 Sprints. And Tyler Courtney, his first time back since his hellacious wreck during the Kings Royal last July at Eldora. First night out in the car, came from, I think he started like 5th and made a great move at the end to pick up the win in that sprint car feature. In the UMP Modifieds, they had 69 cars there, and Ricky Thornton Jr. was your winner Thursday night. Friday night out at Casa Grande, Arizona, another night of racing in the Winter Nationals. Chaz Baca was your winner in the modifieds, and Shelby Williams broke Cameron Starry's winning streak to win in the stock cars. Night number 2 at Volusia for the ASCS 360 Sprints. Tyler Courtney did it again, picking up the feature win. And in the modifieds, it was Charlie Mefford who passed Kenny Wallace late in that race. Kenny ended up finishing third to pick up the win in that. They also ran down in Norman Park, Georgia at the Needmore Speedway for the Hunt to Front Super Dirt Late Model Series. $10,000 to win. Brandon Overton was your winner. 604 crates were a part of it. And Diesel Jones, that's his second win of the year already, I believe, picked up the win in that one.
Diesel.
Last night at Volusia, they were supposed to run the ASCS final night of that, the big $12,000 to win event, but they started running. They ran 3 heats, and cars kept having accidents in turn number 1. Turns out the wind was so strong, it was literally throwing the cars into the fence. So they took the sprint cars off the track, put the modifieds out there, and the same thing happened to them. Ricky Thornton Jr., who's one of the best racers in the country, went into turn number 1, hauled off into the corner, and literally just went right up into the wall. It's the strangest thing we've ever seen. People haven't seen it before, and the guys are like, yeah, this is literally pushing us. So they had to cancel. What's that?
You see the video? Bollinger's group had a video of it, and it was pretty crazy.
Yes, yeah. I was watching it when it happened. We were like, why are these guys keep wrecking? So the event was, they officially called it, they were winded out at Volusia last night. So they're going to make everything up on Monday. The ASCS 360s will be there. They're going to finish the UMP portion of Saturday night's program, and then they run a full program for the UMP modifieds also on Monday, full program on Tuesday. Then the World of Outlaws sprint cars come in on Wednesday to run Wednesday through Saturday at Volusia. Also, the Hunt the Front series was supposed to run all their events in Georgia. After the very cold conditions on Friday night, they decided just to pull the plug and cancel all the late model racing there. So we won't see late models back on the track until the following Monday, the 9th, at Volusia. Casa Grande, the final night of the IMCA.TV Winter Nationals. Brandon Beckendorf was your winner in the modifieds, and Cameron Starry completed a stellar 2 weeks down there, picking up the IMCA Stock Car Feature win there. So that is everything for this week.
Brian, Dirt Vision is where you want to be this week?
For Volusia, correct. Yep.
Anything else that's that
Flo's got
we
the
might
new
find?
Smyrna stuff, right? That's coming up.
Yeah, starting on Friday, Flo will have new Smyrna. Yeah, it's kind of weird. No Lucas Oil racing. Lucas Oil does not race until after the Daytona 500 the following week. They're trying something a little bit different, so we'll see how that works. But I believe Taylor Cool and Matt Crafton are making the trip down there, so they're going to start racing tomorrow with their modified down there. There should be well over, I think they're thinking over 100 modifieds at Volusia for the week for the 6-day run for the Big Gator.
Okay, very good. All right. You got anything?
A little bit. Speedfest at Cordial Speedway was supposed to be last weekend, but due to the winter storms, it's been rescheduled to be a part of the Georgia Summer Nationals. That'll be Friday, July 31st and Saturday, August 1st. The World Series of Asphalt at New Smyrna Speedway begins this Friday, February 6th. Super late models who have already tossed their hats into the ring to run the full series will be Billy Braun, William Sawalich, Ty Fredrickson. R.J. Braun will also be down there as well, just notables that we would know in our area. And then Ryan Preece is also planning to run the full Super Late World Series of Asphalt schedule. Pro Late Models, Jaden Johnson is going to be down there running the whole series, as is Weston Marthaler. And then in addition to those two divisions, they're also going to have the Tour-type Modifieds, which Ryan Preece is also going to be running in, the 602 Modifieds, and the Florida Modifieds. And, of course, the ASA Stars Tour is going to be down there for a special event as part of that. And we'll also be seeing, looks like Gabe Summers has tossed his hat into the ring for that one, and Derek Kraus, too, I believe.
I stand corrected. The Dirt Late Models do hit the track at Screven. You can see that on Flow. I believe that starts Thursday night. The weather cooperates. John Boy had to correct me.
Good old John Boy.
All right.
Yeah,
And
now I have a C- for my report today, so that's not good.
PJ, any of those things televised that you know of?
I think you can catch all of it on Flow, and then Track TV also has a partnership down there too. So you're going to have both Flow and or Track TV that you can watch the World Series of Asphalt.
All right, it's that time of year. If you don't have a streaming service, you might want to consider one. Dirt Vision, if you lean that way, Flow for a lot of things, including some dirt too, Brian. I think they do some dirt events, don't they?
Oh yeah, yes, lots.
No, so they're both they're both pretty good to consider. Dirt Vision is about twice as much, I think. Am I right about that? I think Dirt Vision is around $300 a year, and
Dirt Vision you can quote unquote share with people. Flow, you can only watch it off of one server at a time. So it kind of equals itself out when you're all said and done.
All right, we're going to sneak away for a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the preliminary report that the NTSB put out after the Dutton flying disaster. We'll be back after these.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Welcome back. Nice to have you. Racing season is upon us. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? As we get going, though, most people are talking about what a great time this is to get that disastrous off season behind us. And right as we're getting going, we get this report from the NTSB that the Duttons, that's a father and son, Dennis and Jack. Dennis was flying the plane. We're talking about the Biffle crash here now. Dennis was flying the plane, and his son, Jack, was serving as a co-pilot. The problems began for that plane before it even took off. Dan, you looked it over pretty close, didn't you?
Yeah, it sounded like they had problems starting one of the engines, getting going, then they got that going. And the report mentions that they have, three people? They talk about the left flying pilot, which is probably Dennis, the right seat pilot, which is probably his son, Jack, and they talk about a rated rear passenger seat person, which is probably Greg Biffle. And it sounds like they noticed issues with either the gauges or the engine. They weren't sure what it was. It sounded like one of the engines was putting out more power than the other one, or not enough. And they had issues right from the beginning, and kind of sad overall because you know how it ended. But it kind of goes through everything. And I think there was one thing where I've never flown, so I don't know anything about flying, but some people have. Yeah, some people suggested that they should have climbed out or something and tried something else, and what they did, that might have worked out. They didn't do that. I wish I had somebody that had some pilot experience that could actually go through that kind of stuff and know.
I didn't know that you flew.
I haven't for a very long time, but I do have my pilot's license, and it's just VFR, which is Visual Flight Rules.
Still, you're the LTN pilot.
Not really. I haven't flown for a very long time. But I will say, with a lot of the things that they had going wrong from before they even got off the ground, that should have been a stop sign right there. And sometimes people get into too much of a rush. We all do it at times, too. Unfortunately, it was very tragic for this group.
Yeah,
but when you have things that are like the gauge is not working, whatever, you got to not blow the stop sign and pull the plug on what you're doing and reevaluate.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll see more later, but that's where we are for now. Boy, the Epstein files have been in the news lately. It's not just about Bill Clinton anymore, folks. Michael Waltrip shows up in the report, and Brian Vickers what in the hell were they doing with Epstein?
You should probably preface it.
Yeah.
Michael Waltrip was not there. He was part of the team that Brian Vickers was on.
Ah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of people know Brian Vickers' now ex-wife, Sarah Kellen, was wrapped up in the Epstein deal. It's been like that known for quite a while. Back in the 2008 non-prosecution agreement, she was listed as an unindicted co-conspirator. That was back in 2008. And then when Ghislaine Maxwell had her trial in 2022, the judge there referred to her as possibly being criminally responsible. But she was Brian Vickers' wife, now ex-wife, at the time they were dating. And it sounds like Brian was driving for Michael Waltrip Racing in the 55 car, and they were worried about Aaron's, the sponsor, finding out about it. So that's what all those emails are about. How do we not let them know that he was dating her? It sounds like somebody sent them an anonymous email to another sponsor, was it Dollar General maybe, and said, hey, you got to look into this. And they said, when you Google Brian Vickers' girlfriend, this is what comes up. And that's kind of what that was all about. That's kind of like damage control.
unbelievable. The fingers from this Epstein investigation are just reaching everywhere. It's just I'm kind of sure that we're going to see more before we're done with that whole thing. And Brian, it was finally official this week. The Roval is no longer going to be raced.
Hallelujah on that one, huh? That is great
Right.
news.
Big
Talk about
applause.
NASCAR listening to the fans. I mean, we complain that they never do that, but it sure seems like they're kind of making a little bit of a pivot and doing a little bit more of that. I don't know if it's ticket sales or if somebody from SMI said, hey, do we really want to do this Roval thing? But whatever it is, I'm glad they're doing it. Congratulations to them.
Shane Van Gisbergen would disagree.
Yes, he would. He's the only one, probably.
Oh, that's funny.
Valid.
While I was in Las Vegas, I noticed that they were really slow in getting anything up for NASCAR at all, and I didn't see any downtown. I couldn't find the odds for either Bowman Gray or the 500. But when I got out to Boulder Station, they did have some. They had a real nice list of odds, and I ended up picking two cars for this clash. One would be, and both of them, just put it this way. I didn't take favorites. I have Kyle Busch to win the clash. I got 28-1 on Kyle Busch, which, isn't really too bad. Does he have what it takes? Is this a place where Kyle Busch could win? And I thought it's worth the flyer for 28-1. And also, Ross Chastain, I got at 15-1, and those are the two I bet on it. However, I believe it's probably time for us to make our picks for this thing. I'm going to go ahead and take my 28-1 shot and take Kyle Busch for the win. I know it's a long shot, but let's go there. Let's go to Brian next. Who do you got?
Oh, this is a tough one. It really is. But I'm thinking I'm going to take Chase Briscoe to win the clash.
Okay. And let's go to PJ before we go to Dan and see
Where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to go with Mr. Ryan Blaney, but I was kind of debating. I was trying to look at some stuff. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I do think that Ryan is a good short track racer. I'm going to go with him. So, yeah, Blaney.
All right. No surprise. And Dan.
I'm going to agree with you, PJ, because he made the field on a provisional last year, stormed through the whole field, and finished second right behind Chase Elliott. The only guy that really passed anybody was Ryan Blaney. So I'm
I
going
got to watch it last night, by the way.
Boom chakalaka.
Yeah, so, all right. I'm the only one with a Chevrolet in that group, huh? Okay.
Nobody took Connor Zilisch in his debut. That's a sleeper out there.
Yeah, Dan, I think you picked him for the 500, didn't you?
I did. I took two cars for the 500. I took Kyle Larson and Connor Zilisch. We'll see if he's what he's about. I mean, he looks pretty good and does
What
all
kind of
right.
odds did you get on Zilisch?
50-1.
All right, not bad, not bad. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the program today. Gosh, we do count on you. By the way, PJ, quickly, your latest Racing Nuggets is up.
Oh, it's an older one, actually, from before the Tulsa shootout. Sorry. I have not had time to do it with my mom, and it's just been a lot.
I just had a note that would be good to ask.
I
'cause
appreciate
asked
it, but
you
there
about
is an old one out there of Grant Griesbach, too, since he's still kind of in the news with doing the Dodge thing.
All right. Well, here's what we really want you to remember. Real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Our engineer is Matt Losey. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of the station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.